What happened was, I left my house early. I left my house fucking 40 minutes before I had to be at work. It took me, it's a 10-minute drive, right? So I gave myself a half hour. I'm like, this should be all right. Yeah, just in case, right? Yeah. I go to McDonald's. I go hit the drive-thru. They're like, kid goes, yeah, can I help you? I go, yeah, I would like to have because I never say the number. Never say the number. Because I fear that they're going to hit the wrong thing. So I make sure I say what I say. I go, and this is another thing. I go, because this is one of my favorite meals. I want a steak, egg, and cheese bagel meal. Yeah. Large coffee, 1 cream and sugar, please. Yeah. I hear this on the speaker. Okay. You said bagel? Yeah. Steak, egg, and cheese bagel meal with a large coffee, 1 creamer, and 1 sugar. Oh, okay. It shows up on my screen. Steak, egg, and cheese biscuit. I said, I don't want the biscuit. I want the bagel. Wait. Bagel? Third time. Yes. I want, and I'm trying to be patient because I'm like, this kid sounds like a fucking retard, right? Just a fucking idiot. Sounds like a fucking moron. So I'm like, I'll give this kid the benefit of the doubt because he's working at McDonald's. Oh, yeah. You know?
Yeah.
You know?
And they're most of the kids anyway.
Most of the kids anyways. And yeah, because they don't give a fuck. Yeah. These kids nowadays don't give a fuck. No. So he's like, okay. Steak, egg, and cheese. All right, I got you. It's price. I'm like, all right. So I pull up out of the drive-thru. Now, all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, comes this fucking old bitch in this fucking car. Not in the drive-thru, but pulls around and starts cutting her car in front of mine.
What the fuck?
Exactly. And that's exactly what I said. I go, what the? And my window was down. I go, what the fuck? And so I'm pulling up like, fuck this bitch. And she keeps trying to get in between my car and the car in front of me. I start cussing. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck? It's like, what the fuck? And then in my mind, I'm going, this stupid bitch probably has got something wrong. And instead of waiting in line like a civilized fucking person, trying to cut me off. Yeah. And she just kept inching in. So it's either I'm slamming into the side of her or I let her in. So I'm like, you fucking bitch. And in my mind is telling me, get out of your car, punch her in the fucking mouth, and fucking yank her out of the car and fucking drive her car the fuck away, right? That's what my mind's telling me. Because my mind is also going, because it's going, because it was kind of busy. It was kind of busy, and now I got all these people watching this bitch trying to cut me off and get in front. So now my mind's going with my ego shit. Is going, you gonna let this bitch do this? Are you gonna let this bitch do this? Fuck this bitch. Like, teach this bitch a lesson. And I'm like, no ego. I'm gonna play karma. So I got time. I'm looking at the clock. I've been sitting in the drive-thru at 10 minutes at this point in time. Yeah. Just got done ordering my food. This might work. So I'm like, fuck it. So I let her in, right? Big mistake on my part.
Does she get your meal?
Big mistake on my part, right? So she gets in there, and I'm like still steaming. Oh yeah,
oh my
God. I was furious.
That's
but it's ridiculous, right? And she was not like, she had her window down, so she heard everything I said, but she just was playing it off, just like, no. And she was like one of the people who have no teeth, or like gumming, like doing the gum thing, like, nom. You know, it's like, this fucking dumb redneck bitch, you know, because she just looked like that. She looked like a fucking trailer trash bitch, right? Yeah. So I'm just stewing, and I'm just like, fuck it, just let it go. And I'm looking at my clock. Now, 5 more minutes has gone by. Now, I've been sitting in this fucking line for 15 fucking minutes. Yeah. Right? Time's ticking. Yeah. And I gave myself a fucking half hour to get through this fucking line. A half fucking hour. Yeah. So I'm like, what the fuck? So we go, and then the line starts moving. And it starts moving pretty good. I'm like, things are looking up. Things are looking up. All right. I get to the fucking thing to pay. The cashier looks at me and goes, steak, egg, and cheese bagel meal? I go, yes. Yes, it is. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, calm down. This might be a good day.
Got you.
Pay my food, right? And it's sore shit. The bitch who gets to the window, she hands out a coffee from her window, gives it to the kid, and the kid gives her another coffee back. So whatever the fuck was wrong with her shit, maybe it's too cold, or fucking, I don't know. Yeah. This gummy bitch, right? She's gumming her mouth, like, blah, 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 blah. So fucking, I get to the counter. I finally get, and I'm looking at my clock like, oh shit, time's running out. Now, mind you, I've been sitting in there for 15 minutes. By the time I get to where I get my food, It's 25 minutes.
Oh, shit.
He's sitting there 25 fucking
Fuck.
minutes. So that's how long it took.
5 minutes left.
5 minutes left to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Right? To be on time. So I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck. I'm like, because this is not my fault. I was not running late. I was early as fuck. Right? So I finally get there. And the kid looks at me. He's like, you had, what the fuck did he say? McGriddle. You had a McGriddle meal? I go, no. I had steak, egg, and cheese bagel meal. He goes, oh, shit. And he's looking around. And I see him, like, frantically looking.
Oh, shit.
He's looking, and there's nothing there.
No, fuck.
He's like, they got to remake your food. Would you be all right to pull up right here?
Oh, God.
And in my head, this is all I hear. No! Right? But in my mind, in my cool demeanor, I go, absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
I pull up. I'm sitting there.
5
5 minutes have gone by. So now I've been sitting in line for 30 minutes.
Now you need to leave.
Now I need to go. But I haven't got my food, and I already paid for it.
Yeah.
30 minutes have gone by. Tick, 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 tick. Everybody's going. Room, room. The line's steadily moving around me. Tick, 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 tick. Room, room, room. And I'm like, fuck. I look at the clock again. I've been sitting in this line for 45 minutes.
Oh, fuck.
I'm like, I'm about to be fucking late. But I'm like, I just paid. I can't fucking, I need my food. Like, where the fuck? So then I'm like, fuck it. I got to go to work. So I start peeling out. I go, and I get to the light to turn off out of McDonald's on the road I need to be to go to work. And I'm sitting there pissed. I'm like, I just paid for nothing. I didn't get shit. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. So I backed it up, ran into a parking lot, walked inside. Yeah. Right? I go up to the counter, and nobody's looking at me. So the first person I see that gives me eye contact, I go, hey, excuse me. And he walks up, he's like, yeah, can I help you, sir? The same fucking voice that took my order. The same fucking voice, right? So I'm like, yeah, I've been waiting in this line for 45 minutes. I still have not got my food, but I paid for it. Yeah. Can I have my food? Yeah. Please. He's like, oh, what's your order? Steak, egg, and cheese bagel. Steak, egg, and cheese biscuit meal? No! Steak, egg, and cheese bagel meal. So then he starts to walk towards the direction of where the food's sitting, stops, turns around, comes back to me and goes,
Biscuit.
this is what he says. He goes, you got a meal? I say, yeah, a meal. Steak, egg, and cheese bagel meal. For the fucking 100th time. Right? And then he looks at me and he goes, meals come with hash browns, right? Yes! Yes! They come with fucking hash browns. Like, I'm starting to lose my shit at this time. I'm like, yes, they come with hash browns. Can I get my shit? Right? So he walks over, and they fucking look around, they look, and they're like, and he comes over, and he goes, oh, here you go. Because, like, when he walked over to the place, there was 5 employees just standing there talking, laughing, doing nothing with this big-ass line. And me sitting here 45 minutes. Probably now 50 minutes. Yeah. In this fucking drive-thru. And people may think I'm exaggerating. I'm fucking not entirely. No. Not entirely. So finally, he gives me my shit. I'm like, thank you. Bolt out the door. Get in my car. The light turns green. I'm like, yes, here we go. I'm going. I grab my hash brown. I grab on my hash brown. I'm like, right? I eat my hash brown. I'm like, fuck. I'm looking at the time. I'm like, I can still make it. Because at that employer that I had at the time, you had a 5-minute leeway. So you could be 5 minutes late and not be late.
Oh, that's cool.
It was cool. So, but if you use a minute after that, you would get 3 points. Ooh. And you can only get 10 points and you're fired. Right?
Well, they give you 5.
Yeah. But I was a half hour early. You know what I'm saying? So I get there and then I reach in my bag. I pull out the thing. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because it doesn't feel like a bagel. I open it up. It's a steak, egg, and cheese biscuit. Instantly, I threw it in the bag, threw the bag against my window. It hits the window, drops in my seat, and I'm just pissed. I'm like, this bitch cut me off. I stood in their line for damn near an hour, and they still can't get this shit right.
Oh, shit.
I get halfway to work, and I'm like, God damn, I'm hungry. Fuck. So I ate that fucking steak, egg, and cheese bagel.
Oh, shit. That sucks.
It was the worst experience of my life. And I was alive. And I said, I swore to myself, I said, I am never going back to that McDonald's again. It took me a month. It did take me a month.
It took you-
It took me a month. I was like, fuck